Hello, 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 hello. So today's episode of Rising Vibes is sponsored by Mr. Keith's Auto Parts. Mr. Keith's Auto Parts has been in business for a really, really, really long time. He's been around, I won't say longer than most of us have been born, but probably longer than most of us have been born. So if you guys are not following Mr. Keith's Auto Parts, make sure you go do that. And when you go follow or purchase something from him, make sure you tell him KP sent you. So today's guests are Atlanta CarCast. So Atlanta CarCast is three people. They are two gentlemen and a lady, and they are actually killing the car world. They have like, I don't know how I would describe it. I guess I would describe it as a car world podcast. Maybe that's how I would describe it. But I'm going to let them come on and tell you. Good evening. I'm going to let them come on and tell you what they would describe their show as. They should be joining in a few minutes. They'll probably all join individually because it's three of them and they'll be probably in separate places. But I'm just waiting for them to get on. While we wait for them to get on, if you guys missed last week's episode of Rising Vibes or any of the episodes of Rising Vibes, make sure you go subscribe. It's 2019, so you'll be able to catch up on some amazing episodes. For all of y'all that are asking me when I'm going to get a particular person on the show, more than likely I've already had them on the show. You just missed it. So if you go subscribe to the YouTube channel, you can see a lot of great episodes. Thank you. I appreciate it. I thought I sent them a request. Okay, here we go. Let's see. So I just sent you a request, Atlanta CarCast. Y'all should be coming on in just a minute, I guess, if it'll let you come on. Let's see. Well, it says I requested y'all, so let's see what's going on. But like I said, if you guys have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, you've missed any of the past episodes. I've had your favorite big rim racer on, your favorite shop owner, your favorite car world personalities over the going on 4 years. September 2nd will be 4 years. So going on the 4 years, I've had some of your favorite people on the on the show. Not sure what's going on with that, but I'm gonna try to. I got the Atlanta CarCast. It says I sent the request, and I sent you one as well, Tia. So I'm not sure what's going on. Hello.
Hi.
Hey. I don't know whether you're in a bad area or what's going on, but you're kind of like breaking up a little bit. So the plan was, I guess, to get each one of y'all on individually.
Yes.
Okay. So let me see if I can see either of them on.
Mister's going to be on Atlanta CarCast page.
Okay. I tried to send him one on there. Let's see. Okay. And then Skip will be on his page. Okay. Let me see if I can see Skip's. Hey there.
What's
I
up?
can see you now.
What do you do?
So I'm trying to see if I can see Skip on. Skip, if you're on here, send me a request. But first I want to. Oh, there. I see he just joined. So first I want to tell you guys, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to sit down and talk to me and answer the fans' questions. I really appreciate it.
For sure.
I just sent Skip a request. So what I'll do is I'll start off with one of my questions, and then I'll get right into the fans' questions. Hey, Skip.
What's going on, people?
So like I said before you got on, Skip, I really want to tell you guys thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to sit down and talk to me or talk to us and answer the fans' questions.
Yes, ma'am. No problem. No problem.
All right. So my first question for each one of y'all individually is, how did you get into cars? And we'll let the lady go first.
My dad was a truck driver, and I have 4 brothers. I spent a lot of time with them, so I've been a car girl since birth. Pretty much.
All right. So, guys, who wants to take it next?
Go ahead,
Age
Mister.
before beauty, Skip.
Well, listen, this is gonna be funny to hear, but my mom got me in the car.
What?
My mom, my mom loved fast cars. She had the first fast car she had was actually a box Chevy. It had a built motor in it. Her husband at the time, which was my stepfather, built it, and she drove it more than him. And then in 85, 86, she bought one of the first Nissan 300Zs, the 2x2. And it was super fast for her at that time. And she taught me how to drive. The first car I learned how to drive was a stick shift. She taught me. So it's always been, my mom likes cars and I like cars too. So that's what drove me to actually do it better than what she did. So yeah, it was my mother.
Me, it's simple. I'm from the hood, and as a kid, everybody in the hood stood on porches, sat on stoops, and just watched the cars ride by. And in the 80s, you see all these fixed up cars playing music, and I was just like fascinated and would just sit there and hopefully pray that the same car would make a lap and I could see it again, or I would be out the next day looking for that whatever car. And I've been fixated ever since since
Y'all
a
didn't
kid.
play. Y'all didn't play. That's my car.
Of course,
Oh
punch.
my God.
Yes, we call it
Bingo.
punch buggy. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. So my first question is, how did Atlanta CarCast come about?
All right. I'm gonna answer this because I know what they've been
Go
saying.
ahead.
I've been on the car scene here in Atlanta since I've basically been here. And at the time, they were part of another car club. I'll let them call the name of that car club. And my face, I started making the rounds as, the go-to person or the point man for the car scene. People ask questions and whatnot. And I was approached by this young lady below me. And she said, hey, we want to do this podcast. It wasn't a podcast then. What we call it?
It was a podcast.
Well, yeah, it was remote though. We want to do a podcast and we want you to help us. I said, I'm in till the wheels fall off. So it was, if I'm not mistaken, Mr.'s idea, and then Tia took it and did the blueprint, and we started out doing remote filmings with individual clubs and the individuals in the clubs at parks and car meetup locations, and it got so big that car clubs started calling us wanting to reserve a spot. And then like and I'm not taking credit for any of it because it's these two below me that put it all in motion. I just was the front man face, so to speak, but it's because of them that Atlanta CarCast is what it is. I'm just a part of it.
And how long has that been?
5 years now. I think we started in 18.
Dang.
Over 5
We
years.
started in 18 over the summer, and what we were doing was filming, chopping it up, and then putting it on YouTube.
Okay.
And 18 and 19 it rolled around, and then COVID hit in 20. So they came together and said, hey, after the break, we got to get this thing back rolling because we had momentum, but we're going to do virtual. And they, like I said, they pitched it to me again. I said, well, I'm already in. We can make it work. And we did. And now we have our 3 solid chairs and then what we call a rotating 4th chair, because we've had 2 co-hosts now. We're on our 2nd one, and he's doing a great job. And, it's what it is. It's the phenomenon that it is. We've interviewed people as far away as California. And I think as far north as Michigan?
It's all over. Yeah.
New York. New York.
Yeah.
And we've been in Louisiana with a couple of different car clubs and people. Some people out of Texas, definitely out of Florida. So we've done it all. Well, we haven't done it all. Let me take that back. We're trying to do it all. we are. But like I said, I'm not taking credit for it. I'm grateful to be a part of it from the inception. So any credit given needs to be given to these two below me because it was all their idea. All of it. So I don't want y'all to think I'm saying, oh, it's me, because it's not. It's not. None of it will work without her.
Well, and you know what? Speaking of that, Tia is pretty dope. I've done a couple things with her off, not just off off social media, and she is a dope lady. One thing I can say about her as a person is just knowing her the time that I've known her, she just really wants to see people do well. And it's a shortage of people like that in the world. Like, it's a lot of effed up people out here.
Yep.
And finding somebody who truly and genuinely just wants to see people do well is an amazing thing. So you guys are lucky to have her on your team.
Most definitely.
So I wanna unpack some of the stuff you just said. First and foremost, the thing that sticks out to me is I'm not gonna be jealous because I haven't been asked to co-host. I'm not gonna be jealous. So I'm telling myself that, I'm saying it out loud, so I won't be that way. But just
Now,
yeah.
say this.
And
Say this before you go into your question. I know you watch our show, so evidently you missed the episodes with an S.
Look,
where
we've been
we
looking for
said
people.
we are looking for people that want to co-host this show. Inbox us, call us, do whatever. We're interviewing people, and 2 people interviewed.
okay.
Nah.
All right. I'll send my application. I'll send my resume along with my application.
So not to jump too far ahead, but we got a radio show coming up, and we could use all hands on deck. So if you want to jump on there too, come on.
Hey man, I'm sending my resume and my application. Or am I just grandfathered in? Do I got to interview and send that?
I'm no granddaddy here. I ain't no granddad. I'm the granddad. I ain't no.
Yeah, me and you beefing anyway, because I still ain't got my. You know what? I'm not even gonna do that.
Whoa!
I'm not gonna do it.
That's my fault. She's looking for her trophy, Skip, and every time I talk to her, I tell her that I'm going to tell you to screenshot it so she can see it. And I'm doing 38 things in tandem, so charge it to my multitasking and not to him, because I'm always doing 13 things at the same time.
Right now.
Always.
Coincidentally, the same week y'all gave me that trophy, I got another trophy, and what I wanted to do was like put them side by side. That was dope. That I won 2 things in 1 week, and I didn't even know that was coming. So,
There you go.
So a lot of people may not know this, and I swear I didn't even know this until Tia told me this. But Mr. and Tia are a couple.
What?
How is that dynamic?
I quit every day.
It depends on which way you're looking at it. From a podcasting standpoint, we've been doing this so long. We don't let the personal side kind of interfere, and it's just like we're just co-hosts.
Okay.
But I quit every day. I literally quit every day.
The other dynamic that makes it complicated is it started as the Atlanta CarCast podcast, and it has ballooned into the Atlanta Cast Network, which one of my other hosts that pod starts at 9 is calling me now. But so now it's a network with several podcasts, and we do several things, and all of this kind of was my brainchild, and it has spent into all of this, and it has laid on the shoulders and the lap of that beautiful woman there. So it's a lot of work. It is fun, but it's an interesting dynamic between me and her. And a lot of people don't know we're married, which is cool with me.
I had no idea. I swear. I was like, when she told me that, you could have knocked me over with a feather. I was like, dang. But it's a good thing, though. I feel like it's a good thing people don't know, because it could get complicated for some people. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So being that they don't know, and also that says to me that all 3 of y'all do a good job of keeping your what's going on personally out of the show. Right. And that's a great thing.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
So Skip, as the grandfather on the team.
I'm going to get you, but go ahead.
No, don't do it. No, but what I was going to say is Skip as being the
elder statesman.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. On the team. how does that work for you? Like, are you, because I feel like you're the more confrontational one. You're the one who's always, you're the one who we kind of have to wrangle back in. We gotta try our best to control you.
Well, I would say control, because I
Okay.
understand what it is I bring to the table. I understand why I'm here, and I understand how people see me. So knowing all those three reasons of my being is, I think, what makes people want to hear me talk, what makes people want to listen to me, what makes people ask me for advice. Um, I what you see is what you get with me. And a lot of people say that, but I guarantee you, everybody that knows me knows, if you say it to Skip, he's gonna give you the butt naked truth or hurt your feelings or well. And that's it. Now, I don't intentionally go out to hurt people's feelings all the time, because I have done it. I will do it continuously. But I love this car scene. That's the most important thing. And I'm 55, about to be 56 years old. If I can't give some of the knowledge and things that I've seen and learned to somebody else to carry on into the future, then in my mind, the car scene is going to crash and burn if I let the reins go, so to speak. So I'm always trying to give out knowledge or answer questions or put people in position to do better. And a lot of people look at it as arrogance, but I look at it like passing the torch, so to speak, because there's not a car club out here outside of ones that's newly formed the last 6 months to a year that don't know me or don't recognize me from way back when there was only 1 or 2 car clubs.
Right.
Big Lat, very good friend of mine. I remember when it was Georgia Toys and the Pro Board and all of that. A lot of people don't even know what that is. That's
Right.
how we communicated to find out where we were going to meet and hang out. So I've been here long enough to see it go from what people call the good old days to now, trying to get it back close to what it was with the all the stuff we got going on. So I think me being here is more of I don't know how to word it, but more of, we know it's worthy of what we're doing because he's there. Not that I'm more popular than him, but I'm a more well-known car figure. I was at the time, but I think now they're on my level as far as notoriety because of the podcast.
Right.
If that makes sense. So yeah.
So
But
what
as
are
far
some things?
hold on, but as far as Skip is, he takes constructive criticism very well.
I
And when
was
you
just
do,
about to
when you do the amount of episodes, and let me preface this by saying our show is very constructed, it's well thought out, and it's a lot of work. And we have pre-production, we have post-production. So I always tell people it's not a lie. It may seem that way to some people, but it's a whole thing. And we go into pre-production, we discuss things, we critique each other, and we critique early on. We critique the hell out of each other.
Right.
Skip, me, her. What'd you like? Oh no, I don't like that. I don't like that. Don't do that. Don't do that. And we built that muscle memory over time. So it was a lot of work.
I can say, Skip, he may come across as really brusque. He's very opinionated, but he does receive constructive criticism very well. He's extremely coachable, and he's the first person to tell me that he doesn't. He may know a lot about cars, a lot about podcasting. He's the first person to admit, when we started this, I don't know anything about this. I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to do whatever you tell me to do. There were a lot of episodes in the beginning, if you go back and look, and he was using very childlike mannerisms. He would, why are you looking like
I'm
that?
listening.
You would throw your hands up in the air, you lean back in the
That's
chair.
not sound like that's adult-like. I was mad. No, I'm playing. But you're right.
He would throw tantrums.
Yes.
And we have post-production conversations, and I would tell him, look, that doesn't look good. You can't do that on screen. You may not agree. You can verbally express how you feel, but you can't react that way with your body language. And he received it, changed it. There were things that he said repetitively, and we said, okay, let's work on it. With that being said, work on that. He doesn't say that anymore. So we found ways to each other. and to grow and to develop our conversation to be quite, how do you put it? Conversation without sounding repetitive. So
Right.
I think we work well together.
I mean, my vision for this whole concept was something along the lines of sports broadcasting. When you watch a basketball game or entertaining event, you have the commentator giving their feedback, and and I thought that was how the car culture needed to be presented, and that's basically what we do. And Skip has grown into being a great interviewer, talking to people on the car scene and stuff like that. This is live events, in person, at car shows and stuff like that. And it's just like the way I envisioned it, actually being like sports commentator, but for car culture. And it's like super dope.
Right. And one of the things, like what Miss TJ hit on, if I had have been stubborn and didn't want to take criticism, then I wouldn't have been the right person for the job. And yeah, I'm stubborn. And a lot of people will probably assume I don't want to take criticism, but if I want to do something and I know I don't know it, common sense will say, listen, adapt, adjust. And that's what I did. Like Mr. said, after every show, the first thing I say is, okay, what I messed up on. Oh, you did well, but you could have changed this. And I adjust on the fly. It's not 2 or 3 episodes it takes me, because I understand what we're trying to do. If they spend all time molding me into what they want me to be, then we wouldn't be where we are now.
Right.
So I get it and I understand it. And a lot of people are like, well, they tell me what the fuck to do. Well, you don't need to be here. That's any job. Your boss will say, hey, you're doing a great job, but don't use so many pens. You got to cut down on using the pens or you'll lose your job. Not that I was in jeopardy of losing my job, but I understood the process. So we're here.
Well, here's the thing when it comes to doing, because I started in 2019, and if I go back and look at my very first couple of, probably maybe even the whole first year, I see things. I feel like I have grown leaps and bounds, and hopefully, it sounds like you guys are telling me that you all have grown leaps and bounds. Not that we were just focusing on Skip, but it sounds like you guys have all grown leaps and bounds. Because one thing people have to understand, I personally wasn't given a blueprint for this. I had to go back and look and see what I did wrong, see what I was doing, see. I'm like you said, like she said, Skip is with the facial expressions. Sometimes I still even do it. Somebody will say something and I'll be like, you can't, I can't hide it. So I do my best to tame it. I can't hide it, but I do my best to tame it. So going from year to year, I feel like situations get better year over year over year over year. And it sounds like that's what has happened with you guys.
Well, I think it's a level of honesty too, that public honesty that I think the culture was missing. And our show really tackles some of these things instead of people beefing over shit. You know what I'm saying? So if the culture doesn't like this thing, our platform is designed to discuss those things and maybe come up with a better solution or a better way of looking at stuff, which prevents, and I think it has really helped the culture. It's been a lot less drama, in my opinion, because we get to talk about these things and then word spreads. Even if you don't watch the show, maybe somebody, three levels down has watched it and they look at it differently and it touches everybody in some type of way.
Because I don't even know how I came. I don't know whether Mook told me about. I think it was. I think I met Tia in the barbershop one day. And I don't even remember how long ago that was, but I was very excited and interested because I feel like even though we all kind of do something similar, we're all different.
Exactly.
And I feel like it's a lot of moving parts to this car world, the car culture. And I feel like it needs all of us, especially when you're on some positivity. I feel like even though y'all got Skip, y'all still on positivity.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
I won't know. That's it. I ain't gonna do no more Skip.
I know this your platform, but okay.
We definitely keep him ringing.
But being who I am, being who you are, and with everybody else with their own platform, it's different points of view. And when people respect you for what you bring to the scene, or from the part of the scene that you are affiliated with. That's what these podcasts and these posts and lives do. They let everybody see it from Skip's point of view because they agree with Skip, or they align more with me, or they align with KP or Big Lat or whoever. So with all our different points of view and putting it out there for them to see it, where they don't have to be at every show, they don't have to be at every event, and they still can get the tea or the happenings, good, bad, and the ugly. That's what this is about, and that's what makes it so successful, in my opinion.
Right. Speaking of how you touched on a point that I always like to ask the guests. You talked about how the quote unquote good old days. What's one thing that you guys wish you could bring back about the good old days on the car scene? If you have more than one, you could say it. But what are some things that you wish you could bring back?
No arguing about petty bullshit. We would pull up to Gresham Park, and if anybody's been to Gresham, the grass, all the park across the street will hold about 3 cars. There would be 600-700 cars out there, and people just laughing, having fun, barbecuing, talking shit. They leave, go down the street to the goddamn where the car club is, the nightclub is, fill that parking lot up, and go home.
Right.
Now we all got the showboat. We got the show. We got the most powerful car. We got the show. We got a lot of money. We got the show. We're messing with this girl that used to mess with this dude, and then the beef comes. Everybody wants to carry a gun because it's easy to get one, and those are things that we can bring back without saying let's go back to how it was, because it's never going to be like it was, because everything has changed. It's more 800 horsepower cars are more accessible now. Back then, you had to have money to build it. You can go buy a Hellcat now, so we can't go back to what it was back then, but we can still institute the same things we used to do, where it was just fun. And that's what I would like.
Honestly, I think this last car season, at least the car shows that we've been to, have really been a lot more fun than they've been in a long time. I think we're getting back to camaraderie, just having a really good time. If we're not doing anything at all, everyone's talking to each other again, which hasn't happened in a long time. And last couple years, people go to car shows, they put up a tent, they'd sit there and not walk around and talk to anyone else. Within this last show, we've seen a lot of everybody getting out, everybody really talking to each other, everyone really mingling and getting to know more people than they've ever gotten to know in years. And so I think that if some of those older clubs came out now, they would see that things are evolving and they're going back to the fun that it used to be.
Right.
Go ahead, Mister. You were gonna say something?
I agree with all that. And she made a good point about if some of those stagnant or inactive clubs will come back to the scene, they would notice that things have changed. It's a different scene than it was 5 years ago, and we ain't gonna talk 10, 15 years ago. It is a totally different scene. And people tend to hang on to stuff, and they talk about, car club culture, because of their personal experiences. And I think I totally agree. It's a lot different.
Right. Lots of networking has been happening. I used to always be the person, because I'm more prevalent to the racing, to like big rim racing or just racing in general, right? So I used to always be the person, and y'all, I don't know if y'all have ever heard me say this, but this is what I used to say. So whoever's listening, this is not what I say now. I say I hate car shows. And the reason that I hated car shows is because I feel like if I'm going in the same area, I'm always seeing the same cars. If I'm going in Atlanta, I'm seeing the same cars. If I'm going to South Carolina, I'm seeing the same cars. If I'm going in, and as of late, like you said, it has been changing. If I'm going in Atlanta, I might see cars from Chicago. When I go to things like Whips by Wade, he bringing people from all over the country. When I'm going to Whip Addict, just different people's car shows, just to name a few different people's car shows. I'm not just seeing Atlanta cars. I'm going into different places. I'm not just seeing the cars from that area. People are really building cars and actually taking them places, not just pulling up in their home city, which is nothing wrong with pulling up in your home city, because a lot of people, they don't want to, they're not getting the time off. They don't want to take the time off to go to different cities and take their car, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I do know that as of late, I've been seeing different cars, and that excites me, because I don't want to see a whole bunch of repetition at a car show.
Well, I think people, compared to 10, 15 years ago, people are modifying multiple builds at a way more faster and rapid pace than they did, 20 years ago. People would have the same car 10, 20 years, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And one build was one build, and then that was it. You got people that are modding and remodding a year and a half later.
Right.
You got
Than that.
5.0 versions of builds. It's like nuts.
Right.
And you got people that got fleets of cars. One guy might have a whole fleet, and that is, listen, let me just tell y'all something totally off topic of this. As a person who is building one car, I don't know how to hell. Listen, when I started building my one car, I didn't even have no gray hair. Now, yeah, I got some gray hair because of this one car. How do these guys build several different cars at one time? I know a guy working on 6 cars right now.
I do
6.
too.
Two reasons. Money, number one, and you trust the people you leave your cars with. And if you're at different stages, it's almost like an assembly line. If this car's in paint, this car's in body, this car's in motor, this car's in interior, whatever, you can go down the line and monitor each one. Now, if you're doing it yourself, then they don't have a job. They just got money, and they got time on time, on top of time, on top of time. Because like you said, building one car is a headache when it's your first time. But after you've done it, you know the process. And if you got that moolah, you can do 2 or 3 at one time because you know where one needs to be so the next one can be in line.
Well, for me, it's a headache because of the money. No other reason. I chose some great shops. I gotta say, I chose some great shops. The guys that have actually worked on my car. When I got my car, and we doing a documentary on the car. But when I got my car, Deck told me, KP, just get rid of that car and get another car. And I was like, no, Deck, I'm not doing it. I'm doing a full restoration. And why did I do that? Because, baby, let me just tell you this. That car is beautiful now, but it didn't look like that when I first got it. It didn't. And I have to applaud people, the guys that are working on all those projects at one time and then got a fleet of cars that they bring into these car shows. It's a lot of logistics when it comes to getting all them cars I have learned a whole lot from the people who have all those multiple cars and all those multiple, some of them pull them themselves. Some of them, it's a lot of moving parts.
Oh, yeah. To rent a trailer to pull 4 cars is trip.
Right.
To trust that company to pull them cars that you put all that money in is a headache.
And some of these cars need security.
I agree, Atlanta Car Club community. It is motivating, though. It's very motivating.
Yeah, it's motivating. But today I was talking to, and I ain't gonna say no name because y'all know the person. But today I was talking to somebody who was talking about how much they put in just a motor in their car, and I wanted to just take my car and run it through their business. Why are you putting all that money in that car?
Yeah, I know a couple of people that have $25,000-$30,000 in the motor, not
or more,
the whole motor, in the motor.
Yeah.
And they drive it all the time. Like, what?
That's a lot.
You damn
and
right.
like you said, some of the cars need security. Like when they go in places, I got a homeboy. His homeboy in Texas gave his car to the valet, and the car ain't never come back.
Oh yeah. Oh, some cars you can't valet. You just can't.
Wow.
Now what do you do? You gave your car to the valet, and the car just never came back. Now what do you do after you get done crying like a baby?
Well, Akon just did his interview with, who was it, Drink Champs or whatever, and that's how he used to steal cars. He got into the valet, and then he was taking people's, he was getting extra keys at first. I don't know how they were leaving extra keys in the vehicles, but he connected with the valet companies, and they would tell him when they had a vehicle that had an extra key in it, and then he would just come and just drive off with the car.
Wow.
And the valet
Yeah.
still had the other key.
Wow. No, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Tia, as being the only female in a all male cast most of the time, because I think most of the time y'all have a guest host. It's a male as well.
Mm-hmm.
What's that like, being the only female host on an all male cast?
They do whatever I tell them to.
She would throw that shit out.
No,
there.
we got a new lingo thing. It's a new word. She tell ass us. She tell.
Mm.
I tell and
She tell and ask us what to do. So it's in the form of a question, but it's a demand at the same time. And it's not a question.
That's female. That's really female like.
Yes.
they move accordingly,
but you
though.
know,
Accordingly.
there's a great question to ask her, because, like they hit on earlier, if I wasn't receptive to criticism, critiquing, and everything else, it wouldn't work. They're a couple, so they're going to agree to disagree, and they're going to make it work. But in order for this thing to come full circle, for her vision and their vision to be where it is now, we have to be accepting of what they're trying to do. Right. And like I said, when I came to this, it was like, okay, what y'all need me to do?
Right.
Or it wasn't, okay, this is what I bring and this is what I want to do. Right. So when you join something like this, and I didn't know it was going to get to where it is now, I just felt like it was going to be something that, we did and it peter out. But I see now, I can see a long ways down the road, and I'm glad to be here, being tell-assed.
I was joking, but I wasn't. However, they are they're great to work with. They listen, they take feedback well. They do what I ask them to do, and I generally don't have much pushback. So okay. I can't ask for a better group of people to work with. Absolutely. Whatever, we have some real far-fetched plans. Some of the stuff that we come up with is like extreme, and they're with it. They never say no. They're never like, no, ma'am, that's outrageous. We're not doing that. They never say, I don't think we can do that. I'm not a small thinker. If you know me, I'm looking at all the people in the chat that's joined from my personal page. So they know me from a different world. So
very different.
People that know me know that I don't think small. Nothing is small to me. I've done some really just things in life that are unbelievable. And you'd have to be in my world personally to understand the grasp of that.
KP.
And
she used to strip.
Hell no.
Mm-hmm.
I'm playing.
No.
Coming to the stage, Moses.
Absolutely not.
Oh my God, I'm playing y'all for y'all. Take it and run with it.
No. I mean, and that's okay if that's what you, and that makes you the money that you need to listen. I'm extremely open, so I'm never gonna knock anyone's hustle.
Right.
However, I don't think small, and these guys have just really understood how I think and how big I think and how far I think, and they don't ever shut that down. It's hard when you have people that are a part of your team who just don't see your vision.
Right.
They can't even foresee it. They can't fathom what you're saying.
Right.
And they do. They get it. They're always down. If I say we're going to drive to a car show, we've gone on some adventures, and they go. We get in the car, we go. So.
Marshallville.
Yeah. And also, to create that type of nucleus and that synergy between co-hosts is difficult. And everybody thinks that what we do is fucking easy. It's not. Podcasting is not easy. Content creation is not easy. and being consistent is for sure the hardest thing in the world. And we are here every single week, rain, sleet, snow. I mean, through deaths in the family, like through tragedy, through
When
life
I'm on the road, I
altering
take my
events,
phone and I get online.
vacations, everything, holidays. Well,
Right.
some holidays we take off. It depends on the day. But for the most part, we're consistent. And it takes a lot of work in order to get to that point. And it takes a lot of dedicated people to do this because it's not easy.
You know what y'all remind me of? Like a Breakfast Club. You know, like the Breakfast Club. And what made me ask you, Tia, about the dynamic of you being the only woman was I was thinking about Angela Yee, how she left the Breakfast Club for whatever reason. But I know that it has to be not really easy for you, but it also has to be pretty hard for the guys because, you know, sometimes women can be a little bossy.
Well, egos are not, we don't have egos.
Right.
You know, each one of those guys are their own entity. And
Right.
I don't think they take kindly to their toes being stepped on.
Right.
I don't give a damn because we're going on the same path. I don't need to be the leader. I know how to ride in the back seat, if so to speak.
Right.
You know, if everybody wanted to be the leader, this wouldn't work. You know, when they came to me and said, hey, we want to, you know, put you out there, we want to do this, I was like, okay, what y'all need me to do? I didn't come to them with demands on how I'm going to do it and how I think it should work. I took the instruction and I went with it.
Right.
So I think that's the biggest thing.
Wave that flag. I'm the executive producer. Blah, blah, blah. No, I'm like the janitor. I'm here. What you need me to do? Type of guy, and I just want to just deliver content for the culture. That's it. You know, it's all about the culture.
I don't think any of us are that person. You know, even when we're out and about, people are always confused about who's Atlanta CarCast. Like, who is it? Who does it belong to?
Right.
They walk up to Skip and they're like, man, Skip, man, I love what you're doing on Atlanta CarCast. Like, that show like you. And he'll say, no, that's her and him. And then I just kind of, I'm really quiet and reserved. I don't care about credit. Like, I don't care if people know anything about any of it. I just want to do the work.
Right.
And that's how I've been about just everything that I do. I've always been the behind the scenes secret weapon for everything that I've been a part of. So, you know, that I think is why it works so much for us, because none of us are trying to step out and say, I'm the boss and, you know, they better listen to me. We don't work that way.
Right.
Well, also, I tell people all the time. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I first started modding back in 2005-ish, you know, and I returned to Atlanta around 2009. And from 2005 to 2009, I had been searching for like a car club. Couldn't find it. Google, couldn't find it. Facebook, couldn't find it. Came back to Atlanta, still couldn't find anything. And by what's the word, Miss TJ? Osmosis?
Osmosis.
That's it. That word right there. Me and her were going to a drive-in movie to watch a movie. And I was in my modded Camaro. And somebody was like, oh, y'all with them Camaros over there. I was like, no, we're here to see such and such movie. He said, no, you go over there with those Camaros. And I said, no, we're here to see such and such movie. He said, man, you need to go over there and look at them Camaros over there, man. Go over there. And I had never seen this because this culture is like a secret society for the most part. A lot of people don't even know it exists to this day, right? What we have and what we all love, they don't even know it exists, right? So I was like, all right. I look at Tia and I go, can we go over there? Like the man said, look at those Camaros. And she said, she looked at me like a little kid. Yeah, baby, let's go over there and look at it. So we drive over there and I see, like, I swear it looked like 1,000 Camaros there to see a drive-in movie. And so I say that, it was Transformers movie. So I say that everybody remembers that moment where they found this thing. And I think that was that. And by me and her experiencing that thing at the same time adds to why we are the way we are within this culture and how we play off of each other, because we found it at the same time.
Well, let me back up. If he had a nice car in the first place, I wouldn't have looked at him. So we'll start there. I'm being honest. being honest. I've always been a car girl. Anybody that knows me knows that. And if he had a Ford Focus or Altima, I would have been like, yeah, no, I'm good.
I'm a pass.
I'm just being
crazy.
Find somebody else to do it.
exactly.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Had he had just any other American car, you know, I would have been like, yeah, nah. So I'm a Euro girl, so I just couldn't see past, you know, I can't see past that.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds really terrible. You know that, right?
They gonna fight after the show. They gonna fight.
No comment. I can't get involved in that. What I was gonna say is, there's something about, for me, people who understand the assignment when they know it's bigger than them. It sounds like each one of you are 1/3 of Atlanta CarCast. It's not, nobody is 50%, somebody is 25, somebody's 25. It sounds like everybody is 1/3 of Atlanta CarCast. And people don't understand that we ain't all got to be the chief. You know, everybody ain't got to be the HNIC. Like, everybody ain't got to sit at the head of the table. I don't have to have steak. I like tuna fish. I don't even eat beef. You know what I'm saying? So everybody wants to be this person that's running every single thing. But, like, it's even like the president. The president ain't the smartest person. You know what he does have? Smart people around him.
Right.
That's how everything gets ran accordingly, if it's running accordingly. But we ain't going to talk about that. But you know what I'm saying? It's like being the CEO of a company. The CEO of a company ain't going to never do the work of answering the phone. But guess what? He trusts the people that he has working for him to hire the right people. And so, like I said, it sounds like each one of you guys understand the assignment.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So Skip,
Uh-oh.
I remember the first time I came across you. I met you before I met Tia. Well, I didn't meet you. You were on at a I think Miss Supersport and them had a car show back there at that club in Conyers. I think it was in Conyers.
Back in that whole
and
Covington.
I heard, maybe, okay, so Covington, and I heard you on the mic, and I was like to myself, who the heck is that?
That's when he was roasting that dude. Remember that, Skip?
Yeah, I remember.
That was hilarious.
To myself, Lord, let me get out of here. Who is that?
Yeah, I remember that day vividly. He kept on. I said, man, leave me alone for it to be about you. And for 5 minutes, I made him feel bad.
Did you tell him he was shaped like a bell pepper?
Yeah, he was shaped like a bell pepper, ready to be cooked.
I said, oh, let me get out of here before he start on me next. I don't know who that dude is, but I'm finna go.
No, but that's, you know, hosting.
I mean, he doesn't do a lot of that to women unless they say something inappropriate first.
No, it was a dude. Oh yeah, talking about me. I ain't know that. See, I ain't know. I was just coming in. I ain't know.
But you know, at these shows, this is a part of what makes it fun. Like Man Waller, I'm quite sure you know him, but a couple of people know him on here too. That guy, me and him were the best of friends for the longest time. And you know how we met? I was talking shit to another dude, and he took up for the dude, and me and him talked shit to each other for 10 minutes. And people were like, oh, they're going to fight. Me and that man shook hands, became best friends. You know, so this is the fun portion of what I try to make people understand. Man, we are here to have fun, laugh, and go home. And you were there at that show. I ain't going to say I controlled the crowd, but I made them understand, man, enjoy these cars, get some ideas, let's laugh, let's get these trophies, and let's go home.
Right.
That's my give back. You know, the comedy and everything else that I can give or impart to somebody so it can move forward into the future, because I'm not going to be here forever. I know that. You know, because one day I'm going to say, man, fuck these cars.
If you say so. But I have a 2-part question for all of you guys. The first part is, what is your absolute favorite part about the car culture? And what is your least favorite part about the car culture?
You want me to go first?
You go first.
Okay. My favorite part is watching people get cars and seeing their vision come to life. Stephanie took a G-Body and she did something that nobody had ever done, and has rolled down quarter panel windows. And
ATL Step, that's my girl.
yeah, it's clean as fuck. Miss
Right.
Supersport took a Jeep body and put a racing engine in it and built it her damn self
Right.
and competing with guys. Now she ain't running no 4-second passes, but can't know anybody run up on her. So I've known these people since before they got where they are, and being older than most of them and see the vision, not just the women, but everybody. Being able to see people take a car and say, well, Skip did this, I'm gonna do this 100% better. They don't have to say it, they just do it.
Right.
So seeing a car go from stock to modded to what they want and they're satisfied with it is what brings me joy on this scene. What I don't like is when, for lack of a, for not calling out, not trying to call anybody out, but when people come out here and don't respect what the car scene is. It's about us having the same or same respect for a culture. We're trying to promote it or show how we enjoy it. And then you get the Burnout Kings or the Donut Gods or whatever you want to call them. And they come out and they make it bad for us. The police won't let us park and pound or park and have fun anymore because of the fear of what those one or two knuckleheads will do. So if we
Right.
get everybody to respect it like we do, or at least enjoy it like we do, then I think this will be, it'll get so big to where we'll be renting out stadiums. You know what I mean? So that's my answer to your question.
I was trying to
Okay.
get ready for my podcast. My bad. I'm back.
So did you hear the question?
Repeat it.
So what's your absolute favorite part about the car world, the car culture, and your least favorite part?
Favorite definitely is working in communities and doing things to help touch and change people's lives. And a close second would be anything that's related to these kids, you know, touching these kids, not touching these kids, but you know,
You're the only one thought that way, man.
Oh my God. Is that a pause? I don't know if that's
Yeah,
a pause.
pause.
Okay,
Definitely.
pause. Yeah, let me go back to the community, get off the kids. But yeah, community, like what we did at an event just over the weekend, just by saying, hey, incident happening with somebody a part of our culture, let's raffle, let's raise some money, and people respond. Let's do this, and people respond. People really come together when they need to, and I love that about this culture. And anytime we can do anything in the community or with these kids that are coming up, I'm all for it. That's what I love. I don't really hate anything. I hate the heat in Atlanta. I wish this culture was in Alaska and it's still popping.
No.
Not Alaska.
No, not Alaska.
No.
Look cool
Not Alaska.
somewhere. Or
No.
But yeah, all thumbs up for me.
Well, I like just the joy I see when people see these builds. You know, when everyone gets together and everybody's looking at everybody's car and people have done new things, it's so exciting to see people's reactions to just looking at the creativity that it takes to create these builds. It's like being a kid again. You know what I mean? You're looking at just how innovative some people can be. I mean, Luke from Customs put a waterfall. Was it a waterfall or a fish tank? What was it? He put a waterfall in the trunk of his Porsche for one car show.
Wow.
I mean, just the ingenuity that it takes to construct something like that. Then to watch everybody be so just enamored with it, for him to just take it out and do something else. Like the creativity just never ceases to amaze me with some of the things that people are doing. And I can name, countless people who have really amazing builds that you just would have never thought. I would have never thought to do that. Even Batman and Mrs. Pennywise, to have a Batman in his console in the back of his car. Like the kids lose their minds when they see these cars. And it just like, I'm a little kid at heart, so I'm just happy to see, how happy people are when they see these really creative things. What I don't like, I think, can be, just divisiveness. I am a collaborator by heart, so I'm going to be the person who wants to collaborate, who wants to just really bring people together. I don't like when people are divisive in that part of the collaboration I think that we get so much more done when we get together and work on things as a unit.
Facts.
So,
I think the competitive nature like deludes into that. People are so competitive
I get
that it turns divisive.
I get the competitiveness, but be competitive with yourself. You know what I mean? Like, to me, if I'm building a car, I'm building it for me. I'm building it to win for me. I'm not building it to debase other people and to bring other people down. You know, like, if I don't win, I would be okay with not winning as long as other people who had better builds were winning than me. You can visibly see the difference.
Right.
Like, I think some people are just unrealistic in their thought process about that. But you know, overall, I mean, there's not very much to dislike when you really enjoy what you do. And we really enjoy what we do. So there's not a lot for us to dislike. We just like, we like looking at cars. I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but we love cars. We like looking at them. We like being around them. We like talking about them.
Yeah.
We like everything. So.
Absolutely. And another part that I love about our show, we talk about so many different things that people don't get to talk about publicly. I'll say that again. From the financial aspect, we've tackled from everywhere from how to purchase a car to how to modify a car to how to compete with a car to how a car should be judged, how a car should look, new cars that are coming out, electric vehicles. I mean, we've covered everything. People, insurance, General Motors, thefts of cars, wheel locks, like every aspect on four wheels. I don't know what we haven't really covered, Skip.
So there's an African proverb that says many hands make light work. And I think when we actually believe that and do and surround ourselves or try to make people make that possible, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot. I don't know why we don't understand that if we all get together, we're more powerful.
Thanks.
I took a small Black-owned business seminar one time, and they said our dollars stay in our community way less than every other. The Jewish dollar, every other dollar stays in our community way less. So even not even just as far as color, because I feel like when we in this car culture, we all the same color. Right. So if my car culture brother over here got a cleaners, even though this cleaners might be around the corner from me, I need to take my clothes to his cleaners.
But you know, one thing that prevents that though, the biggest thing is envy.
Mm.
I can watch it now.
I own my own business also, and when I don't get business, I don't get mad. I said, well, maybe that's what they want to do with their money. I don't advertise as much as I should because I feel like people should know I've been doing it long enough. But
no, I used to advertise.
I should advertise even more. I know, and I get told this all the time by that lady down there. But
real quick, I'm gonna jump off. I got a pod in 2 minutes. If y'all want to check out our network, AtlantaCast Network on YouTube, tap in. We got a podcast starting at 9. We're broadcasting live every night, Monday through Thursday. If you like good content about cars, about sex, about race, about current topics, tap into our network. Subscribe. It won't cost you nothing. If you don't do it, you a hater. I'm out.
Thank you.
Well, alrighty then.
So what were you saying, Skip?
The envy part of it is people don't want to see you get to the top of the ladder for fear of you not reaching back down and trying to pull them up.
Right.
And it takes trust. It takes it takes, like you said, the camaraderie to say, you know what? I know Skip, you're a good dude. I feel like if he makes it to a point where he can reinvest or help somebody else, he will.
Right.
And people don't take it. It takes support for one person to get there. Now, most people think, well, when he get up there, he just gonna shit on us, and it does happen. Right. But if we don't start to help each other, then we'll never see that. And that's the biggest thing.
What were you saying, Tia?
I agree. I totally agree.
I used to get so mad when people didn't support me. Now it don't really bother me.
Well, you can't, because some people do it for other reasons. It could be access. You know, they're right across the street. Why would I go all the way across town to KP way over there? You know, some people think that way. I'm not going to work to go to get a popsicle from Kroger's when Publix is right there, so to speak. And some people will spend more money and then come to me and say, well, why you don't charge as much as them, but your product is just as good? Well, you didn't give me a shot. You know, so it's one of the, like I said, I know my product is not inferior. It's just that what people think and the rumors they've heard, and people don't have, a lot of people are what I like to call push buttons. They'll hear something about Skip, and I'm going to use me, you know, not putting nobody out there. They'll hear something about Skip, instead of investigating for themselves or even calling me or talking to me, they'll assume I'm like, and then they'll come to me years, months, days later and say, man, I thought you were such and such. And that's when the devil comes out of me. Well, fuck you. And that's how I feel. Because you're a man or a woman that can make your own choices, and you let somebody influence you because they don't like me.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So fuck you. That's the way you
Y'all
feel.
becoming haters. Y'all becoming hater-in-laws.
Exactly. And
I mean, one thing you got to find out, you got to know, I know you know this, you've been in it way longer than I have. One thing about this car world is rumors and innuendo and all those things, they follow you. I remember one time I was standing talking at Chevy's and Bully's trailer too long with him, and the next day the rumor was we were screwing.
Yeah.
I might stand and talk to Grand Nasty too long, and the next day the rumor is we like. I mean, like I'm just having he in the comments talking to you. I mean, like I'm just standing there having a conversation. You didn't see us kiss or hug or none of that. We were just having a conversation, and we weren't even standing that close. We were standing kind of far apart. But now all of a sudden, so you got to just, you know, you have to take those type of things with a grain of salt.
Well, for me, I mean, my trajectory has been a little different. I've been in business in an entrepreneurial role all of my adult life. So I never had an opportunity to care about what people thought,
right,
because I was a boss at 24, 25 years old. My family had many restaurants, and I used to hate even mentioning the name of the restaurant because I would get all this, oh, I don't eat that. Well, nobody asked you to. Billions and billions do, though, okay?
right.
So, you know, like I couldn't even think about what people thought. I couldn't think about whether or not people supported us or me, you know, specifically. Nobody supported us. Nobody I knew, you know what I mean? But we had a lot of customers and we made a lot of money. So I had to be impervious to worrying about what people thought and whether or not people supported, because other people do.
Right.
And I've learned that my biggest supporters have been people that I've met, not people that I already know. So I'm not looking for, you know, even with this car stuff, my family, they know what I do. They don't care. They kind of, you know, they're intrigued by it because they're like, well, I don't understand, you know, what's this thing with these cars, you know? But then when state senators call me for a car for a parade that they happen to know, and they heard that, oh, you got such and such a car for this parade, that's cool. Oh, now you care. You know what I mean? But it's I don't put too much stock in relying on that kind of support. I don't even post on my personal page. So I am talking to you from my personal page, and I've noticed people join the chat who are probably very lost because they have no idea that this is something that I spend a lot of time doing. And I'm okay with that. If they paid a little bit more attention, they would know. So I'm not about to just go shout from the rooftops, hey, you know, I do this thing. If you're supposed to know, you will. And if you want to support, you can. But I'm not begging people to do anything. So the right people will come.
It used to bother me a lot, but like I said, it doesn't bother me because one of my good friends in this car world told me one day, he said, if you're always busy paying attention to the people who don't support, you aren't paying attention to the people who do support, and how's that gonna make them feel?
Right.
She ain't never talking to us about being appreciative about us supporting. She always talking to the people who ain't gonna never have never supported her in the first place.
Right.
So when he told me that, and that probably maybe was about a year and a half, 2 years ago, I was like, let me take heed to what he's saying and just be appreciative and thankful and grateful for the people who do support. And then, what's supposed to happen is gonna happen. And when
the
it
crazy
does,
thing,
go ahead.
KP, is that people are watching.
Michelle,
They will watch and never say anything. People will know every move you make. Oh, I saw you. I have people call and say, oh, I saw you was in South Carolina. You went to the show. I didn't even know you paid attention to what I was doing.
Right.
So you'd be surprised at who's watching you and who won't clap for you out loud.
You know what's a good analogy about life? I'm glad that, like, if anybody on here has a business page on Instagram, pay attention to your likes and then click on view insights. Pay attention to how many people actually double tap your post or comment it. And then pay attention when you go to your insights. I've had posts where maybe 4, 5, 10 people liked the post, but the insight said 5,000 people saw it.
Oh, yeah.
So y'all didn't take the
all day
time to double tap it, but you were watching anyway.
Right.
So
and
that was all.
Okay.
Go ahead, Skip.
But that's one of the reasons why I said what I said earlier. When people hear something about me and they have the gall to come up to me and say, man, I used to didn't like you because I heard this. That's why I told you, I say, fuck you. Because you were perpetuating that same bullshit. But now that you know different, you want me to feel better about you? No, stay over there. I don't need it, because once a snake, always a snake. That's the way I see it. Snakes are not going to, they shed, but they still snakes. So if you hung with that snake and you hated me for however long, and then I helped you out of a situation just because, or I did this, and you be like, you know what, Skip, man, you a good dude. I'm sorry. No, it don't work for me. It really don't. And if I keep the little 2 friends I got, I'm satisfied with that, because it just ain't meant for me to have it.
So those were all
Atlanta
my
Carcast said
questions.
they still don't like you, Skip.
I'm sorry.
Someone from Atlanta Carcast said they still don't like you.
And guess what they can do? I have a statement. KP, I don't think you never heard me say this, but I heard this a bunch of years ago. And it goes like this. Every day of my life forces me to add to the list of people who can kiss my ass.
Ooh. Okay.
You know what
on
that
note,
and that list
those were all my questions.
Yeah. that list don't change. And people are like, how you feel that way? Because why would I take you off that list when you did something that deserved to be on it?
Yep. I absolutely love you to death. I appreciate Mr. and Miss Tia for joining and sitting down with me to answer all my questions and all the fans' questions. Where can we catch you guys next? What do y'all want to say before we get out of here?
This weekend we're doing a book bag, backpack, back to school giveaway
That's it. That's dope.
And on Wesley Chapel, Snapfinger Woods Drive, right behind where the Krispy Kreme is, on Wesley Chapel.
I hope the hot light is on.
It's gonna be behind that, the parking lot behind that. That's where we're giving it away. We will have barbers and beauticians on site for the children for free. And we encourage anybody listening to bring out some pads and pencils and backpacks or whatnot to help us give more kids some utensils for school. That's one of the things I'm doing. I think I'm doing something Saturday. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm always at car.
We'll be at the DJ Envy Car Show with our mobile detail partners. KJ's Mobile Auto Detailing will also be with Pit Stop Mobile Skeet. You can catch us on Thursday nights on YouTube on Atlanta Cast Network. You can also now catch us on the radio at Power 104.9 WSTV. It's a local Atlanta station. You can also catch it online at power104.9.com. We've got a lot of things coming up, so we'll keep you abreast of the things that are coming up, KP. And whenever you want to stop in on the radio station, just let me me know. We'll be live every Thursday from 6 to 9 p.m. at Power 104.9 WSTV.
I sure will. And also make sure you subscribe to their YouTube channel. The link is in the bio on Atlanta CarCast. And also congratulations on the radio. That's really, really major. I can say now, knowing you guys, with the exception of Skip, I think that you guys are gonna be okay. I'm sorry, Skip, but anyway, in all jokes aside, knowing you guys now, that the time that I have known you guys, I really think this thing is probably gonna be way bigger than you guys can even imagine that it's gonna be. Because I
I
can see
receive
that
that.
in you guys. And just don't forget about the little people. Don't forget about little old
No,
me.
no, no. You done talking
Never,
all that trash.
never,
Don't say nothing now. Nope.
What?
Hey,
never.
I'm gonna throw that
We'll be.
little dollar bill out there and say, almost had it.
Oh,
I hate you,
oh my
Skip.
gosh.
Why Skip? What is about me that makes Skip do that? Anyway, we're not gonna
Wait
go
a
there.
minute. You know,
I
he's
wanted.
It's
three
not just
times
you. Don't
on
worry.
this
It's
show.
not
Now
just
all of a
you.
sudden it's me.
It's not just you, KP.
Okay, good.
Trust.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So,
It's not.
like I said, thank y'all for sitting down with me tonight. I really had fun. It was really a great and informative show. And another thing that I really wanted to give you guys your flowers on is I feel like this is a trend-setting thing. Atlanta CarCast that you guys started in 2018, and now you're about to celebrate 5 years. Have you already celebrated your 5-year anniversary, or is it coming up?
Well, it's been a 5-year. We didn't do any anniversary, but it's definitely been 5 years.
Okay. So congratulations and much more success to you guys. And I cannot wait to just be along for the ride and watch you guys grow bigger. And yeah, I'm here for it.
Absolutely. Skip's got a car show on September 10th also, so
Okay.
definitely stay tuned for that. It's going to be a good one.
It's called Battle for the Rings 4.
Oh yeah, I saw that ring.
Yeah, where I give away.
Yeah, I think I
both
should get an
sides.
honorary ring. I want to get an honorary
Yeah, I don't
ring,
have
but
honorary rings, ma'am, and you don't qualify anyway, pimping.
I can't get one of them.
Hold
You
on
know how they make you like them celebrities? They be making them like giving them an honorary doctorate.
You said they. I'm Skip. No.
Tia,
Don't worry about
ask
that. Don't worry about him.
ask. Okay, we'll talk about it.
Don't worry about that.
Okay.
Look, she's sitting on Forgiato. She gonna pull up.
She ain't coming. She gonna
How you know?
come.
See,
You need to bring some of them big wheels. Bring some of them donks with you. Bring them out.
All right, Skip. I see how you blocking your blessings. But anyway, thank y'all. Skip, don't say nothing. Thank y'all for sitting down with me tonight. I really appreciate it. And yeah, everybody, that was the whole Atlanta CarCast.
Thank you. We appreciate you. You know, I love you.
I love you too. All right, Skip. Bye.
Bye.
Y'all have a good night.
You
All right,
too.
baby girl. Thank y'all and appreciate it.
Bye.
What you laughing so hard for? Thought I was gonna say something, didn't you?
You crazy, Skip.
All right, guys, that was Atlanta CarCast. Tonight's show was sponsored by Mr. Keith's Auto Parts. If you guys are not following Mr. Keith's Auto Parts on Instagram, make sure you go do that. If you missed any of tonight's episode of Rise and Vibes, you can catch the replay on YouTube. The link to the YouTube is in my bio. Make sure you go and subscribe. And you can also catch up on any past episodes of Rise and Vibes. We have now officially been, September 2nd will be 4 years doing Rise and Vibes. So thank you guys for tuning in tonight, and I will see you guys next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a good night.